Hey, Straight Up fam, it's Madronica. I'm coming to you live from the Straight Up podcast where we're talking all things straight up. What's up, Straight Up fam? We are back live, as you can see, in the Straight Up podcast room. And episode 1 was lit, Dre.
Yes, it was.
We've gotten so much feedback, and so many people are ready for part 2 of episode 1. They're looking to find out who are these special guests. And they're very special, right?
Yes, they are.
We love them so much. They're coming from behind the scenes. We got some people who are hands-on with the Straight Up fam. And so we're excited about talking to them today.
Not only are we excited about talking to them, but they've been in our lives for a very long time.
Very long time.
So just to see the whole process of them becoming adults, because we had them when they were youth.
Yeah.
So just to see that whole process, to be able to sit down and talk to them,
Absolutely,
is a blessing.
It's a blessing. I think it's one of those, I call them God kiss forehead moments where, you know, you get to see some of the work that you put in, that God, you know, helps to utilize you to speak into the lives of young people. And we talked about that on part 1, where you tell them they got a calling on their life. And I can specifically remember with these, at least 2 of these people, they were like, what does that mean? Right. I don't want to know. Right. And put on some track shoes for a minute. Right. But we're so glad that they're surrendering their gifts and their creativity unto the Lord.
Like you said, it's a blessing to be able to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
Because you don't always get to see it.
Yeah,
you don't always get to see it. And when you're dealing with young people, you're wondering if they're getting what you're saying, if they're listening. And so we fast forward almost 12 years. Yeah. We're seeing that they got something. They got something.
And they on the right track.
Yes,
These people are going to be great. I can't wait for everybody to see who we got coming. And they're blessing us with some of their creativity.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Some shocking
creativity. So I think everybody's going to be ready for part 2. And so we're going to look at these young people that came up and through the test of time with life trials. And they're going to talk to us about what their creativity is, along with our brother. Now, he is the stand-up guy. He's our right hand. He's been in the game. He was in our wedding. Man.
Listen.
This is a awesome opportunity to get to know our brother Promise.
Yes. I love this man of God.
Man.
This my brother, my best friend, my go-to.
Yes.
Whenever I'm doing something, I call him. We work together. We get it done. But just in this season of walking by faith and being able to walk by faith with somebody that you know got your best interest in heart, and you ain't got to worry about them. So that's a blessing to be able to sit down and talk to Promise, who has multiple gifts. I call him the walking dictionary.
Man.
This guy, oh my God. I asked him a word just to see if he know it.
Yeah.
And he'll say it. Then I go look it up. And it be that. Be that.
He's well-grounded, too.
Yes, he is.
Like, he's so knowledgeable, well-grounded. One thing I appreciate, I think you talked about it in the last episode about those people, having those good people around you so you have a good product. Yeah. There's nothing I've seen you say that you wanted to do that he didn't just hone in to be a part of. Likewise, you for him. And I was talking to his wife about this, and she was explaining, like, it's just a joy to know that your husband and your spouse is surrounded by good people that believe in them and believe in the God in them.
Yes, man. This man has pushed me to heights that I didn't think I can reach. And so, like Yvette said, his wife, it's just amazing to be able to do life with people that you believe in and you know believe in you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we're going to talk to these 2 young ladies, Jaleesa and Chastity. Amazing women of God. Amazing creatives. And so I'm excited about this episode.
Man,
just to get to talk to them and see the creativity that they have, because they're right by our side. Like, they came in without question, without doubt. We got y'all. How can we connect?
Yes.
How can we put our hands to this work and support you all? And so I'm excited to talk about them and talk with them and see the creative sides of them as well.
It's awesome to watch. It blew my mind with some of the stuff that these young ladies can do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just one of them in particularly, when we were doing this process,
yeah,
she was exploring stuff she didn't even know she could do, and so that's amazing to me to see. And now she thinks she got the game and going with it. She thinks she got the game and going with it.
Let's go, Lisa.
But we just want to push her in whatever area God is leading her in.
Absolutely. And how about that jazz band?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
They ready for it? I don't know if y'all ready for it, Straight Up fam. I think y'all are. I think we're going to cut to them so we can get them in the hot seat with a quick interview. And then we want y'all to see the creative side of them. Because, again, we're exploring what creative is in the way that God has designed it for each person individually.
Yeah, because we all rock creativity different. It looks different on all of us. You slide it in. You slide it in. And that's amazing to me, just to watch how these people rock their creation and how they're creative. And man, I'm telling you, it blew my mind, the whole process of watching it. And I know it's going to blow your mind too, getting to know just good people.
Absolutely.
Good godly people.
Good godly people.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to go straight up live with Jaleesa King, Chastity Tyner, and Jason Walker. So stay tuned for this great part 2 of episode 1 of the Straight Up Podcast.
Straight up.
Where we're talking all things straight up.
Yes.
So when I think of creativity, specifically with my life, I think of not putting God in a box. Like when you think about it, the fact that I was able to do what we call a poem rap or whatever you want to call it, that was me allowing God to use me to do something that I don't normally do. I like to write, but in the sense of uplifting other people. So I didn't even think that I could even do anything like that. So it just creativity. I have to make sure, like, not to put a box on who it is that God has made me to be, or who God is himself, right? And then also I want to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and the uncertainty of it all, because at the end of the day, I remember being asked by my youth pastors and my pastors, like, you are being told that you have a calling on your life. And so what that looks like for me is what people call blind faith, or I like to call it faith, period. But just relying on God, because I don't know the end result, but I do know that faith with works, that God can do a lot of things within me. And so it looks like me right now going to school, or right now me being an educator, me soon to be a therapist, right? And so creativity also looks like me being an auntie and not making sure my nephew is not stuck to a TV screen or YouTube, finding things that we could do outside. What it looks like for me is serving my friends and whatever that looks like for them, specific to their love languages. So maybe they just want to talk. Maybe they want me to watch their kids or help them clean up. Maybe they just want me to give them a hug. And maybe serving my parents, right? Repaying my parents because of all the great things that they have done and are doing for me right now. It's just being an answer to a problem. And that's what I think creativity is.
What's up, Straight Up fam? Just like we promised, we got Jaleesa in the building. Welcome to the Straight Up Podcast, Jaleesa.
Thank you for having me.
You in the Straight Up Podcast room. We're so happy to have you here. It's not like you haven't been here before. You've been behind the scenes and we're pulling you from the back. But what I want to do before we even get started is to say thank you. Thank you from me and Dre and the Straight Up fam for your yes. I remember just mentioning it to you and you wanted to find out how you can get connected. And so that's a blessing.
Always, always. When it come to y'all too,
Aw.
How much y'all invested in me?
Heart.
How much y'all invested? I'm on board.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so excited how much we're learning about you. Like, we've been knowing you this whole time, but
I'm surprised too.
Yes, you are straight up creative. And that's what we're going to talk about today on part 2 of the Straight Up Podcast. Episode 1 is that straight up creative. Now, Jaleesa, what did you think when we told you that we wanted you to be a part of the Straight Up Creative episode?
Be in the background because that's what I'm used to. And then also we're probably going to talk about it a little bit later, but like the spiritual gifts or whatever. I know one of mine would be administration, and so that's the one that people really like
pull on.
Yeah, that's the one they pull on, but that's not it.
That's not it. That's not all of you.
That's not all of me. That's just a piece of me. I thought that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so when we talk about being straight up creative, one of the things that I'll reiterate a couple of times, and I did it in part 1, is that we're talking things that are not necessarily only of the arts. I want to be specific because I don't want people of the arts to think I'm not saying that they're not creative. That is creativity, but I think a lot of the times the masses will try to identify creativity and put it in that box. And like Dre said in part 1, that excludes the people, right? And so when we talk about being straight up creative, we're talking about the creativity that innately came from our Father.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what God has gifted you that you're learning more about?
So you talked about that in part 1, where one of the first things that God did, or a part of who God is He created.
Yes.
So if we are image bearers of God, then therefore we are creatives as well. Yeah. So I'm like, even if I wasn't like I have the mercy gift or a shepherd's heart, like that being a part of who I am, the fact that like in administration or making an Excel sheet, that's creative.
Listen,
that's creative.
Listen, and I can remember when my husband would pull on you for that gift, and I was like, because he was like, I'm calling Jaleesa to help me with, pulling something together, a sermon, a lesson plan, and you had no problem doing it and just flowing in it and functioning. I think that's a part of knowing that gifting is, again, when it makes room for you, but then it creates purpose in what you're doing, and then it ultimately glorifies God.
Yeah.
And so I think for a lot of people, they can't find that balance of it, because I know you probably like, I don't only want to do this.
In fact, I feel like it was tugged on so much that I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like this can't be it, because I don't know. Maybe I thought at first I was following my mom's path. Oh. And like she's like really great at it, good at it, and there's some other things great about her. But like that's another thing that people. Shelly, what up?
Shelly,
but that's something that people tug on with her. I'm like, there's so much more to her. But all that to say, like there's so much more. Me and you, we have discussions about it. One thing about me, again, that mercy gift or that shepherd's heart. I'm literally going to school to be a counselor right now. I take advantage of opportunities to talk to my friends about how it is that they feel, what thoughts they have in their head.
Best friend.
Yeah, best friend. Oh, that's best friend.
That's best friend.
But yeah, those are,
I love that about you, because there could be something, honestly, and this speaks to the masses as well, that could be going on in somebody's life, and however God talks to you, He lets you know the right moment. And not to say you don't, have those moments where you may miss an opportunity, but I feel like God has wired you so that you literally come right when, like, I could be like, I don't know what's going on. Jaleesa got me a card with a whole message typed out because she don't like her handwriting, so I can read it. And it's such creativity, because who could think of those things to do in those moments and how to build somebody else up? I think that's a great acknowledgement to the creative thing that God gave you, that fuels you, because it pulls from who you are, but it gives so much to other people.
And I love people, and so I always look for opportunities to just show them that I love them, or show them that God loves them, right? Because I'm a tool.
Through you.
Right, through me, because I'm a tool in His toolbox. Use me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I love that. And I love that, with seeing what you're going to do. And I can't wait till y'all see the creative side of Jaleesa. But I love when just seeing you do that, and how, like Dre would say about me, you rose to the occasion. Did you not even think that you can do what we gonna see you do on the Straight Up Podcast, episode 1, part 2?
So it was lucky a desire of mine. It's
what?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know, both sides, because we have a name for it.
Let's talk about it. So let's talk about what you do. What did you find? So this thing that you always had a desire to do, or something that you may, just thought, I'll dabble with it or may play around with it, but really it is like you rose, like the God in you just came alive, and it was just like, what? What is it, this thing? So give us the name. What is this thing? We haven't found a good name.
We're working on it.
We're working on a name. But what is it that you found in this moment? And it speaks so much. And it's all God's timing. It speaks so much to what we're talking about in this moment. When we're talking about being straight up creative, because this was the opportunity for you to, we created the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. Our goal with the Straight Up Podcast and all that we do is we want to create the space for you to do it. Because a lot of the times that space is negated. It's not there. It's missing. People don't feel heard, feel seen. But what is it that this space created for you, Jaleesa?
In a short amount of time, I might add. But a poem, rap poem, a poem, a prep. I don't know.
We don't know.
We figured
it
out.
On it, okay. But you were able to come up with a poem and a rap. So it's a cadence, it's rhythmic, it's words, it allows you to be expressive. It's dope. Might I add? She so coming for you, Brody. That's our brother. But no, all in love. But what is it that inspired you in that moment? Because we wanted you to be creative in your own way and not just be behind the scenes.
So here's the thing, like, everybody knows, like, ooh, Jaleesa is really good with words. And, like, I know I own that, especially when it comes to lifting up people. I just like writing. I love words. I like finding out new words, what this word means, all the things. In fact, I listen to different artists just to see how they express themselves. If you look at the Bible and the parables and how, like, I don't know, they talk about the heart, but they really talk about the mind, like that. But just how they equate like different words with each other. So I just love words. I love music. I mean, who doesn't love music? Yeah. So just like bringing them together.
Words and music together. And then ultimately allowing God to just use you to the best of your ability. Like to really like just freely be, freely give, wholly submit, fully surrender, and say, God, you get the glory out of my life. I think I talked about that in part 1, how coming from behind the shadows, which can be difficult for a lot of us in the room because we're all great support people.
Yeah.
And we acknowledge that and we own that. But then God is like, I got more.
Yeah.
I got more.
Yeah. And I just want to shout out to community. So I stress this in general, community, like not doing anything on your own, because Chastity, my little sis, shout out to Chastity, y'all see her soon. But like she simply just said something along the lines like, play a beat to whatever it is that you're saying. Because I just wrote an essay. If I really want to look at it, it was an essay. Cool. But she was like, add some music to it. And so just listening to like a little beat or whatever, I started switching around words. Like, I'm like,
you got it in your zone.
I got this. Like, I can really do this. Yes, like, I started hitting up my brother, like, let's collab. But no.
Yeah,
but yeah. Good. So community is very important to help captivate the creativity within you. So
speak about that a little bit, because a lot of the times people, and I think I said this also, don't really lean into that unwrapping that a person can be called to in your life. Which is what my mentor, shout out Pastor Maya White. But that unwrapping from that mentor-mentee stance, or just having somebody that is of that same vein or in that same lane that has been called to you, or likewise you to them, you know, it's a part of your community, because you ultimately need that.
Yeah. Because
if you don't have it, had we not said, Jaleesa, you know, you're going to come be a part because it's just your heart's desire. When we say we want to put you on, like put you on, like pull on that, because we knew that there was more. Yeah. Now, I honestly didn't know how it would look.
Me neither.
Right? But I think being called to your life in the sense of what is it that we can do to help you as you help us?
That's a word.
Yeah, likewise, because I think it's reciprocal. Yeah. And we definitely...
Thank you for saying that.
Give it.
I said thank you for saying that.
Yeah, the reciprocity that's there. But I wanted to talk to you before we, end this part with you. I wanted to have you talk about how important that is to have those people around you, because I think when people are looking at or they stumble on the podcast, one of the things that they'll find is, I said, is this a good place to find that sound guidance? Like, can I really, tap into this and find out what it is that I am creative at, or what it is that I am, innately created to do. So tell us a little bit about, how important it is to have those people around.
So first of all, y'all may not know this, but I tell often my friends like y'all like my informal mentors. And so like you and Dre, like it's so much wisdom packed up in between y'all. And so also adding to the point that y'all give me a space to I know you said people in general, but y'all right now, y'all give me a space to walk with God. Like, so what does it look like? It may look like for some people, like, I used to put God in a box or myself in a box. Too. But I like looking at y'all and seeing what y'all could do or what y'all talking about as far as creativity. I've been able to go outside of that box. So while most people contribute their purpose to a role, I don't necessarily think that. I think God can use me in every single role because I'm a daughter.
Come on.
I'm a friend. I'm a student.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm an educator / teacher. So like God could use me in any of. I might be a rapper.
Rapper discovered.
But yeah, all those things. I don't know. I might be an author. Like these are literally things that are wrapping up or going through my mind right now. All because I was given the space by you two. And so I just appreciate the community that, just see the God in me even when I did, especially when I didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that, and we'll get ready to end it here. But that unwrapping is key and it's important, and you gotta give it the space and the opportunity to flourish and grow. And just like anything, you gotta pour into it, continually invest into it. And so just being around one another, I think we bounce ideas in our think tanks. And so Jaleesa is unofficially our content creator, producer, all of them. Like they all share roles, but they've added some great quality and content to this conversation, and we really appreciate all that you've done and all that you are going to do in and through, and the work that God just have in your hand, period. Like the counseling, I mean, like,
it's a lot in you, girl.
It's a lot in my girl. That's my best friend. It's a lot in her.
And I gotta get it out.
I love that. I love that. And then before we go, just tell us a little bit about what they're going to be seeing at the end of this episode when it comes to your poem rap. Like, where did you get the grounding for that?
All right, so simply just explaining what I do from a day-to-day basis. I mentioned like me being a friend or me being an educator. Those are roles, or how do I want to uplift people in general? First by doing things like showing love, the fruits of the spirit, Galatians 5:22. Also being fluid and genuine and all of those things that allow the fluidity of creativity, bars, to just, flow. Yeah. So just being comfortable with the ambiguity of it all and just the uncertainty. It seems scary, but all of that is kind of compounding what you guys are about to see soon.
Come on, words. And this is one of the young ladies that I can remember specifically, both my husband and I, probably on separate occasions, pulling her to the side and say, God, I want to use you.
What does that mean?
And God got a call on your life.
What?
Yeah. So now seeing it all come to fruition where she's a great person, an awesome friend, a wonderful daughter, a great aunt, a sister, an educator, a writer, a master's student that's about to have her master's degree. Come on, grad school, Webster University. And also just to see, like, even you with your nephew being a great aunt, those things are just specific things where you found, that I can show the love of Christ and be an extension of him in the earth through all these different facets. And I am so proud of you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, friend. So I want y'all to go follow Jaleesa on all of her platforms as she blow up. Jaleesa King. You have to search her out because she might have a different name. But we'll tag her on some of our platforms. But go ahead and follow her. Hit her up. Don't forget to just find that thing for you. Find that thing that is for you, that God created and called you to do. As we get ready to explore some more creative people that's coming to the scene. So thank you, Jaleesa, for being straight up live with me in the podcast room.
Thank you for having me here with the Straight Up fam. And I'm straight up creative.
Well, we're talking all things straight up. Period.
I am a creative educator that serves souls through thought-provoking conversations around mental health, personal growth, and sexuality, while both alleviating loneliness in individuals through helping them heighten their self-esteem, making effective dialogue, and honoring your boundaries the most beautifully embraced common thing. When you look at me, you see ingenuity, oriented to extract personalities, creating being as fluid as I can be. You have to be comfortable with ambiguity, love, joy, grace, peace, and kindness, collaborating to lead you straight out of blindness. So when you think of creative, be sure to mention my name, love. I am Jaleesa, and I am straight up creative.
Hey, Straight Up fam. If you enjoyed that episode, stay tuned for more of Straight Up Creative.
And remember to follow us on all of our platforms, especially YouTube.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell.
So you'll know when we gonna be
Straight Up!